I am back with another video. Firstly, on Friday, Russia and Ukraine, under the auspices of Turkey and UN, signed an agreement to unblock export of grain from Ukraine to the outside world, because Russia has been putting a blockade on Ukrainian ports since February. But today, Russia conducted missile strikes on Odessa port, from where grain export was expected to start in coming days. And Samantha Power, USA chief, who is visiting the Horn of Africa, spoke about this attack a few hours ago. Secondly, a news story from Somalia, where former chief of Somalia's intelligence agency today said that some pro-TPLF elements are in charge of security in Somalia, and these persons could be the reason of deterioration of Somalia-Ethiopia relations. What was he talking about? Which persons was he talking about? Who is in charge of security in Somalia? Who is pro-TPLF in Somalia? Thirdly, a new story from the Oromia region of Ethiopia. A member of parliament, Minister of Peace, today spoke about a police commissioner who was killed in 2020. This man, Member of Parliament, Minister of Peace, is known for making fiery speeches. He and Hangasa Ibrahim are two MPs in Oromia who drop bombs. So, in terms of speaking without pulling any punches. Fourthly, we have a new story about Balderas, political party led by Eskinder Nega. When Eskinder Nega was in the US, I remember he shared a picture showing people storming presidential palace in Sri Lanka, and he had said that it was his dream that same should happen in Ethiopia. And today Balderas clarified its position, because it was being said that action could be taken against Balderas. Lastly, Somali regional government at last spoke today. 4 days ago, Al-Shabaab fighters entered Somali region of Ethiopia. Since then, fighting has been going on in different parts of the region, and today the region claimed that its forces has killed all Al-Shabaab infiltrators. And the regional government claimed that Al-Shabaab fighters were trying to reach Oromia to connect with Oromo Liberation Army. What did the statement claim? We'll have a detailed look at Somali regional government statement. Firstly, viewers, Russia-Ukraine conflict. On Friday, an agreement was signed under the auspices of Turkey and UN. The agreement was signed between Russian and Ukrainian defense ministers about lifting of Russian blockade on Ukrainian ports. Ukraine was allowed to export grain to the outside world. There is $10 billion worth grain in store in Ukraine. It could not be exported because of ongoing fighting, ongoing Russian blockade on Ukrainian ports. And due to this blockade, we know that food prices are on the rise. There is a food shortage as well. Africa is suffering a lot. So yesterday, on Friday, an agreement was signed, and it was said that Russia would allow Ukraine to start exporting grain from 3 ports. One of the 3 ports is Odessa port, largest port of Ukraine. But today, on Saturday, Russia launched missile strikes on Odessa port. 4 cruise missiles were fired. 2 were intercepted by air defense system installed at the port, but 2 managed to hit the port infrastructure, and it destroyed the port infrastructure partially. Now, Ukrainian government says that just a few hours ago, Russia agreed to Ukrainian grain exports, but today Russia conducted missile strikes. That shows that Russia is not sincere. So, has Friday's deal collapsed? It's not clear that the deal has collapsed or not, because reportedly grain storage site at the port has not been hit, according to some Turkish and Russian officials. But if Russia continues its missile strikes on Ukrainian ports, how can grain be exported from Ukraine to the outside world? Meanwhile, Samantha Power, US aid chief, is visiting the Horn of Africa, which is severely affected by the ongoing drought. Millions of people in the Horn of Africa, in Somalia, Kenya and Ethiopia, are in dire need of food aid. While it was being hoped that after this Russia-Ukraine agreement, food prices might come down, this new attack has raised questions about the future success and the implementation of the agreement signed on Friday. Take a listen to what Samantha Power said.
I'm here in the Horn of Africa, where 19 million people have become entirely dependent on emergency humanitarian assistance. That is in large part because of an unprecedented drought in which 4 straight so-called rainy seasons have produced almost no rain, decimating livelihoods, livestock, and human lives. The only little glimmer of hope that I've heard in my conversations with people here who are so vulnerable and have become so destitute because of this drought is the word that Russia had finally agreed to allow the 20 million metric tons of grains that have been stockpiled in Ukrainian ports to go. This was a glimmer of hope. This was something people said, okay, maybe prices will come down, maybe we'll be able to get access to the wheat. Now, we just get word that Russian forces have bombed the port infrastructure in Odessa, the very port infrastructure that is needed to move these grains out on the Black Sea. This is grotesque, and it is just the latest indication of the cold indifference Vladimir Putin has for the cost of the war in Ukraine, a man-made war that he created for no reason, the costs in Ukraine to human life there, and the ripple effects all around the world.
Secondly, we have a new story from Somalia. Firstly, an Egypt airplane has arrived in Mogadishu, which we have confirmed through some sources. A friend confirmed to us that an Egypt airplane is in Mogadishu. And Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, Egyptian Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, is going to depart on Egypt's visit in coming hours. Secondly, it is being said that a delegation from Djibouti is all set to leave for Cairo as well. So, Djibouti's delegation, Somalia's president, both will hold meetings in Egypt in coming hours. It is being speculated. On Sunday or Monday, these meetings will be held. In the previous video, I spoke in detail about Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's visit to Egypt. Secondly, former chief of Somalia's intelligence agency NISA today spoke. He released a statement and he said that those people in Somalia who are pro TPLF, who are supported by TPLF, are in charge of security, and it could impact Somalia Ethiopia relations. He said Al Shabaab's attack on Ethiopian territories should not be taken lightly. It could have regional bilateral implications. Question is, which elements was he talking about, Fahad Yassin? Which elements is he talking about when he says that pro TPLF elements are leading security matters in Somalia? Hassan Sheikh Ali is National Security Advisor to the President of Somalia, newly appointed. You can see his picture on the screen. He is Hassan Sheikh Ali. Hussein Sheikh Ali. His name is Hussein Sheikh Ali. And last year, when Ethiopia imposed state of emergency in entire Ethiopia, when Tigray forces were threatening Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital, back then, PM Abiy tweeted about the imposition of this national emergency. And this guy, Hussein Sheikh Ali, criticized PM Abiy. Rather, he insulted PM Abiy in that tweet. So he is seen as pro TPLF, anti PM Abiy government. And he has been appointed as National Security Advisor. That is what Fahad Yassin was talking about when he said that Somalia security was in the hands of those who are pro TPLF, who are backed by TPLF. So it seems that Ethiopia-Somalia relations are set to deteriorate in coming months, coming days. If Hassan Sheikh visits Egypt, which is very likely, we could see PM Abiy visit Somaliland. PM Abiy could be seen in Hargeisa in coming days. Thirdly, we have a new story from the Oromia region of Ethiopia. Two members of parliament from Oromia are known for making fiery speeches. They speak against the party as well. They are from Prosperity Party. They are part of the government, but they speak against the government, against the Prosperity Party as well. We have seen the past. These two members of parliament are firstly Hangasa Ibrahim, who a few days ago dropped a bomb when he said that Oromia regional government forces were involved in the killing of ethnic Amharas in Velaga. And second person is Taye Dendea, who is Minister of Peace, also member of parliament. A meeting of a government meeting was held a few hours ago. Taye was not allowed to speak. He is angry. He has expressed his anger in a post, a long Facebook post. And in that post, he mentioned the death of a police commissioner, which happened in 2020. In 2020, Burayo police commissioner Solomon Tadassa was killed. And Taye Dendea in his post today implied that he was killed by government forces. He did not name government forces. Like Hangasa clearly said that Amharas were being killed by government forces. Taye did not clearly name government forces, but the context, if you read uh, the context of his entire statement, it is very clear that he is saying this Solomon Odessa was killed by government forces. Taye Dendea and Hangasa Ibrahim, whenever they speak with some evidence. Evidence is available, but other members of parliament, they don't speak so openly. They don't criticize the government. But Taye and Hangasa, they're known for speaking without pulling any punches. And that is what Taye did today. So, could there be a reinvestigation of the murder of Solomon, who was killed in February 2020? I think his murder must be reinvestigated. While Taye is leveling some allegations, Taye should be called as well. He should be made part of investigation. Who are the culprits behind the killing of Solomon? And we heard from Hangasa that he knew who were the killers of Hachalo, the singer, Romo singer. He should tell the people who killed Hachalo. Fourthly, viewers, Baldira's party of Eskinder Nega tried to clarify its position today. A few days ago, when Eskinder Nega was in the US, he shared a picture showing Sri Lankan people storming presidential palace there, and he had said it was his dream that similar things should happen in Ethiopia as well. Now he's back in Ethiopia, and it was being said that action could be taken against Baldira's party members, that this party was planning a similar thing like the one which happened in Sri Lanka. That is why today the party clarified its position. Baldira says that its struggle is political struggle. Its struggle is peaceful struggle, like it did, it launched the struggle against EPRDF and it removed EPRDF, Baldira's claim today. Its struggle is peaceful, struggle will be within legal framework. Baldiras does not support anarchy in Ethiopia. So, Baldiras is trying to clarify that it's not planning any street movement, any agitation against Ethiopian federal government, because there were some speculations being shared that some Baldiras party leaders could be put in prison, including Eskinder Nega. That is why the statement was released by the party a few hours ago. Lastly, viewers, very important news stories from the Somali region of Ethiopia, where 4 days ago Al-Shabaab fighters carried out an attack. Hundreds of Al-Shabaab fighters attacked the Somali region of Ethiopia. The attack was carried out a week after the killing of an Al-Shabaab commander by Somali regional forces in Afdir zone of the region. After 4 days of operations, today Somali regional government issued a statement. Somali regional government says that 4 days ago, Al-Shabaab terrorists attacked Afdir zone of the region. So confirmation that fighting started 4 days ago, as I've been reporting in previous videos. Secondly, it says that the Al-Shabaab terrorists, they were surrounded by government forces in Hulhul, which I reported 2 days ago in a video as well, that they were cornered there and they have been killed. 100 Al-Shabaab fighters have been killed, according to the statement of Somali regional government. Some of their 13 vehicles have been burnt, and large number of weapons seized by government forces. What was the target of Al-Shabaab fighters? Why did they enter Somali region? Somali regional government says the target of Al-Shabaab fighters was to take control of Al-Kiri district in Afdir zone. And from Al-Kiri, the Al-Shabaab fighters, they wanted to enter Oromia to connect with OLA Shine. It's a big claim. It's a big claim without any evidence. Somali regional government is claiming that Al-Shabaab and OLA are working in collaboration, and Al-Shabaab wanted to connect with OLA. Did we see any attack on Somali territories from Oromia by OLA while Al-Shabaab was fighting in Somali? No, I did not see any attack. No such attack was reported by Somali regional government as well, which shares border with Oromia. So, what Somali government is saying that Al-Shabaab fighters were trying to reach Oromia, but OLA fighters were not trying to reach Somali region to help Al-Shabaab fighters. It's difficult for me to understand. What we have learned is that the attack was not in just one area. Al-Shabaab fighters were scattered. Fighting erupted in more than one locations. Al-Kere, Hulhol was one area. It's not that entire fighting happened in Hulhol. In other areas as well, Al-Shabaab fighters and regional forces, special forces were involved in fighting. So we have no such information from the ground that OLA and Al-Shabaab fighters working in collaboration. But it's a huge claim, and we could see a statement from Revolution Army, OLA, in coming hours about this claim by Somali regional government. Somali government says that operation has been concluded, Al-Shabaab has been decimated. We'll update you in coming hours about this operation. Is still there some presence of Al-Shabaab in Somali region? Update you in coming videos. Thank you for watching.